Okay. Looks like I am finally live, I think. Okay. My timer was frozen for a second. So I'm going to wait till more people trickle in before we get started. But I'm excited to be doing this chat on a Saturday night. So we'll see how many people want to come and hang out with me. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get my wine set up. Sorry about that. Okay, so I got some canned wine today, and I'm going to pour it in my glass. For those of y'all who cannot commit to a bottle of wine, I highly recommend that you get canned wine. I'm the kind of person who loves to drink wine from a bottle, but I feel like once I open up the bottle, I forget that I open it, and sometimes I'm not in the mood for wine. So I'm going to try with canned wine because I feel like it's less wine and it's easier to make good use out of it. So this is the Underwood Pinot Noir. This is a really great brand. It's from Oregon. I mean, I've had this before I even moved to Oregon. So I'm going to go ahead and crack it open. Smells like good old red wine. Oh, shit, I leaked. Okay, I think that's probably enough, and I'm dripping wine everywhere. Ah, yuck. Okay, well, I'll worry about the drips later. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, I forgot how that has like a bit of a kick to it. So we're going to have to drink that slowly. So for those entering the chat, I am drinking the Underwood Pinot Noir. Canned wine, seriously, game changer, especially if you can't commit to a bottle of wine. Also, I went and got some donuts. So there's this place called Sesame Donut that's not too far from me. And I love that the bag says, "You deserve a donut." That is like the cutest thing ever, because you're right. I do deserve a donut. I think everybody deserves a donut, right? So I already ate some, and this is my last one. So this is a good old Boston cream. This is my absolute hands down favorite donut. So for all my donut lovers out there, be sure to comment in the chat what your favorite donut is. Y'all, today has not been a good day for food. I'm going to explain why. So for me, I have only eaten breakfast today. So I had eggs, vegan bacon, and a bagel. And while I was eating breakfast, I was taking my vitamins, and I got some new vitamins assigned to me. So one thing that you may know, which I actually talked about in my podcast earlier this week, is that I have low vitamin D, meaning that I actually have a severe vitamin D deficiency, and I have very high cortisol and even a low testosterone problem. So I got some treatments to balance out my hormones, since my hormones have been out of whack. And lately it's been affecting my diet terribly. I've actually been eating really poorly. And y'all know that I typically like to eat healthy, but lately I've only been eating no more than like 3 meals a day. Sometimes it's 2 meals a day. I really haven't been hungry. And that has been a serious problem on my health. And I've actually been gaining weight just from not eating that much. And my energy levels have decreased. And it's also caused me to not want to go to the gym, which is really bad. And that's also probably explaining some of the weight gain. So I'm excited that I finally got these treatments started so I can go ahead and get my hormones back together again. So after I had popped in my vitamins, maybe not 5 minutes in, I felt myself gagging, and I thought to myself, do I need to throw up? Like, I wasn't nauseous, but something seemed off. So I just walked to my bathroom, and I basically upchucked all my vitamins, and it really upset my stomach. So I know that's really gross, but that's never happened to me before. And I was able to realize, okay, these are some certain vitamins that I've already been taking that I'm going to eliminate. And I'm going to check tomorrow to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I'm going to wait until after I eat because normally I do take my vitamins after I eat breakfast, but I was instructed by my doctor to take it while I'm eating breakfast. But I think what I'm going to do is wait until after I eat breakfast so that food settles in my stomach more. Excuse me. So that food settles in my stomach more, and that way it won't upset my stomach and cause that to happen again, because that was not fun. But I immediately felt fine afterwards. That was my body's way of saying, hey, you did too much. You took way too many vitamins at once, and your stomach was not fully digesting your food. So that was not fun. But yeah, basically I threw up my breakfast as well, and I have had 3 cups of coffee today and 2 donuts. No, 3 donuts. No more donuts after that. So this is my last one, and I'm going to try to eat something normal for once, because let's be real, 3 donuts in one day is terrible. I never eat that many donuts ever. I just was really craving a donut, and I had never been to Sesame Donut, and they had all these cool donut flavors, and I got a little bit carried away, especially because I haven't really been eating today. If one of them is iron, that's probably the culprit. I actually wasn't taking iron, but I did take a multivitamin, and I'm not sure if there's iron in it or not, but there might be. I could check, but that's good to know if it was. But yeah, no, I don't take an iron pill. My iron levels are actually pretty good, so that is a plus. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually, you know what? Now you make me want to go check the label. I will be right back to see if there's iron. Okay, I am back. Vitamins. So I'm almost out of my multivitamins. So this is what I take. It's literally just Safeway brand. I don't need anything fancy. Yep. Okay, there's 18 milligrams of iron in here. So that could be it. Could also be listed as ferrous sulfate or gluconate. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't even know. I know ferrous. So this is ferrous fumarate. So yeah, so the iron is ferrous fumarate and not the ferrous sulfate. If you chew a lot of ice, that's a sign of low iron deficiency. Yes, that I knew. I am actually not an ice chewer, but my sister used to be. So she's actually anemic. So I know that, I believe anemia that also affects your iron levels. So yeah, I'm not a big ice chewer. But I know people who are anemic do that. So that's probably a possibility. But yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not sure if this was because of the iron in this or not. That's never happened to me before. I think it was because I took too many vitamins at once and I hadn't let my food digest. So I'm not sure. But anyways, enough of that gross story. I do apologize, but that's basically how I started my day to day, which is not fun. Yeah, I thought that was really weird, Andrea, how I took it on a full stomach. It was really strange. I didn't take it before the meal. I took it during the meal. Why is my cortisol high? Listen, I'm always stressed. I think for me, as someone who's also been financially suffering, when you are like in crippling debt, your finances can certainly take a toll on you. I also had a very high stress job, which I recently left back in July, so a couple of weeks ago towards the end of it. And it was basically putting a lot of pressure on me. And my stress levels have kind of always been high, but I never really did anything about it. Like, I think the only thing that I really did about it was because I would go to therapy. But I feel like that's not enough because cortisol levels is more of a medical thing and not something that therapy can help with completely. So yeah, I am taking a pill for that as well. I'm taking PS 150 that my hormone specialist assigned it to me. So I take that at night before bed. So I'll take that in a few hours. And I will eat something before I do that, so I'm not puking it up. Anyway, I know that's so gross. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is something that I literally just started as of yesterday. And I took the vitamins yesterday and that didn't happen. So my guess is either I took everything too much at once, or it's because my food hadn't completely digested. And I think it's just because my body still thought that I was taking those vitamins on an empty stomach. So that's how I started my day. Then I just did my hair and makeup, and then I went on a coffee date with someone. And then I went and got these donuts. And now I'm here, and I've been waiting all week to do this live stream. I was really upset that I couldn't upload a video today because my mental health was so bad and my hormones have been so out of sync that I had absolutely zero energy to make a video last weekend. And I feel really bad because I don't like skipping upload dates. And it makes me feel like I'm failing my audience and that I'm not trying hard enough. But I also know that a lot of people who watch my channel are pretty understanding of when I'm out of it and I can't be there to make videos. But don't worry, there will be a new video on Monday. It won't be Portland-based and it won't be dating-based. I am going to be revealing, if you want to know what I'm going to be doing for Monday, I'm going to be revealing how much I made for my first YouTube paycheck, which is really exciting. And yeah, so I'm getting my first paycheck it's either today or no, it's tomorrow. I think they still pay you out on a weekend. It's weird, but I already know how much I'm getting to begin with, which is so exciting. As y'all may know, or maybe you won't know, that I got monetized back in May when I had hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's really exciting. And I really like watching those videos when people talk about how much they've made from their first paychecks. I think it's fun to be transparent about money. And what was I going to say? And yeah, I'm not afraid to hide everything. And it's just a really exciting time in my life, especially with me having really bad luck with keeping a job and not being the best with my finances. So having some extra income that comes in once a month is really nice and it's really comforting. Definitely not enough to pay my bills, but it's still something. And I just can't wait to see what else my YouTube journey brings for me. Sure, I can tell you a little bit about my coffee date. So there's this coffee shop right by me. It's about a 15-minute walk from me. It's called Kawaba. And there's actually a couple locations around this city. So it's pretty much a local chain. And so, yeah, I matched with a guy on Hinge. Really cool. We were talking for about 3 hours. And so, yeah, it was a really great conversation. So we actually finally exchanged numbers. So we'll see what happens from it. Oh, thank you so much, Jacob. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I worked really hard. This is really good wine. Who's drinking wine tonight with me? Comment in the chat and let me know what your favorite wine is. Or maybe if you don't drink wine, love to know what your favorite alcoholic beverage is. And if you don't drink alcohol, you can tell me what your favorite beverage is. That works too. Y'all, Boston cream donuts are literally my favorite. Sorry, I don't want to give you like food chewing ASMR. That would be so gross. I'll do a wine glass ASMR. Okay, that's enough. Someone keeps requesting me that I do an ASMR video. I'm not sure what I would do an ASMR video on and how I can tie that into my channel. But if you have any suggestions on how I should incorporate an ASMR video onto my channel, let me know, because this mic is perfect for ASMR content. I just have never really thought, like, what can I do for ASMR and make it relevant to like what I talk about? So if you have any ideas, let me know in the chat. That would be super duper helpful for sure. And so one fun thing that I really wanted to announce with y'all today. So especially for my Bay Area peeps, I have some really, really good news for you. I am going to San Francisco on Tuesday. I am so excited. Holy shit. So get ready for some San Francisco videos. I'm going to try to film 3 to 4 videos while I'm there. And I think it's kind of nice that I'm unemployed right now because I will have so much time while I'm in the city. And basically, I can spend all of my days just like filming and exploring while balancing out my social life so I can see my friends again. Guys, I am so excited. There is one video that I have wanted to film since 2019, but wasn't able to. So the reason I wasn't able to is because I had lost my job. End of 2019, then 2020, it was the pandemic. So I wasn't able to film this particular video. And then, of course, in 2021, I pretty much left San Francisco and haven't been able to film it. So it will be filmed while I am there. I cannot wait. I got a lot of fun videos that are planned, and I think y'all will really like them. And plus, I will be doing just like a regular vlog type style video of me just having fun in SF, just so you can see like what I did and just kind of seeing how happy I am in San Francisco because I'm always happy there. And it's just a good time. So I really hope you guys are excited for San Francisco week because there's going to be some epic stuff that I have planned. And I really hope you guys like the videos and that it will make my Bay Area subscribers really happy because I know so many people will comment on my videos still being like, I miss your San Francisco content. I really wish you would go back to San Francisco. When are you going back to San Francisco? Are you moving back to San Francisco? I hear you guys. I know you missed the content. I also missed the content, which is why I will be delivering. If you ask, you shall receive. And thank you so much for being patient with me throughout this whole entire year. It's definitely been an adjustment trying to kind of rebrand my channel from San Francisco to Portland. I really do hope that I can go back to San Francisco in 2022, but I think it's really important for me to move back to San Francisco once I am more financially stable again and that I'm not drowning in debt. And I am looking for a new job right now. And so I've been interviewing like crazy. And that's just been such, y'all, it's been such a headache. I have interviewed maybe 12 places so far. And a lot of them have not worked out the way that I would hope for. But I think what's really nice is that the market is kind of hot right now, especially for tech recruiters. So there's a huge need for it. I guess I just haven't found the right fit with where I have been interviewing. And I think with some of the places that I have coming up this week, we'll see how it goes. I'm still even waiting to hear back from a couple of other companies where I started like initial companies. But I've been interviewing with some big name companies, y'all. Companies that you've heard of, not startups. I'm really trying to avoid startups, at least early stage startups. There is one startup that I'm interviewing with that is a Series B, which is not as ideal for me, but their mission is something that I absolutely love and I really value, which is why I wanted to give it a chance. And they have their shit together. So we will see what happens with that, as I am really excited about that opportunity. But I really am trying to avoid startups under Series C because from my experience, a lot of early stage startups just simply don't have their shit together. And I really want to work at a company that has its shit together, where it's a positive work environment and I'm going to be happy, not feeling micromanaged, and that the company is just, well, stable. I'm having a double IPA. It's called Space Dust and SF Favorite. I have never heard of that before. Is the brand called Space Dust, or is that like the name of the IPA? Oh my God, there was so much cream that I just took from that donut. That's like my favorite thing. So, where is everyone in the world right now? So, I'd love to know where you're from. Is it 6 p.m. like my time, or are you on the East Coast where it's probably around 9:20 your time? Maybe you're in the Midwest. Maybe you're not even in the U.S. at all. I'm curious to know. I really don't really, I cannot talk. Wow. You know, YouTube gives me analytics of what countries my subscribers are from, but it only tells me within like a 28-day limit. So I never really know where my subscribers are located, where they are in the US or what countries they're from. So yeah, Daniel is in San Jose. Okay, awesome. Nice. We got a Bay Area person here. And the brand is called Elysion. I haven't heard of that. Am I pronouncing that right? Elysion? Arizona, Indiana. Awesome. I love that. That makes me so happy. Jacob's in San Francisco. Jacob, I had a feeling you were probably in San Francisco, especially when you said an SF favorite. Kind of gave it away, but that's awesome. I love having Bay Area subscribers. It's really nice to know who's from the Bay Area. And I will say this. I can tell that I have a lot of Bay Area subscribers, especially with all the videos that I've done. So that makes me happy that I am attracting the right people. Princess Adora's in Auckland? No way! Oh my God, listen. Princess Adora, I want to go to New Zealand so badly. I have always been obsessed with New Zealand since I was in the 5th grade. And it is the geekiest reason why. So y'all are going to make fun of me so much for this. But I don't know if anyone remembers the show Rocket Power, which is a show on Nickelodeon. And they had this little TV movie called like Race Across New Zealand. And they just made New Zealand look so cool. And they like really hyped up the country. And so that cartoon episode seriously made me want to learn more about New Zealand. So my nerdy ass would check out books from my school's library on New Zealand, and I would read books about New Zealand to learn more about New Zealand. And then wait, it gets even better. And then I asked my mom if she would buy me a New Zealand flag. And she bought me a New Zealand flag. And I would hang it up on the outside of my childhood bedroom door. It's still somewhere in my parents' house, but I have a New Zealand flag, and I am straight up American. I hope you got a kick out of that. But yeah, I absolutely love New Zealand. I also love Australia. I'm telling you, the second we are allowed to travel internationally again and more countries open their borders up and I have the money for it, I am on a plane to Australia and New Zealand and probably going to spend like 15 days total while I'm there. I hope that's enough time because I know there's so much to see and do within both of those countries. So that makes me so excited that I have someone from New Zealand here. That warms my heart. Yeah, okay, Jacob watched Rocket Power. Yes, that was like one of my favorite shows growing up. I loved Rocket Power. I'm a big SpongeBob person. Love SpongeBob to this day. I believe you are never too old for SpongeBob. I mean, seriously, it's a classic. It's like the most iconic show that Nickelodeon has ever put out. And the fact that it's still running to this day and it has not been canceled, that's how you know how iconic that show really is. I also really liked watching Hey Arnold and this other show that came out when I was in middle school. It was called My Life as a Teenage Robot. I got made fun of so much for liking that show because people in my grade thought that show was stupid or geeky. And I thought that show was very good. And I thought it was beautifully drawn in terms of the animation. And I felt like I could relate to that robot character, Jenny. So that was like a show that I absolutely loved growing up. I'm curious to know, what did y'all watch growing up? It could be cartoons, maybe sitcoms. Let me know in the chat. So much cream. Okay. So, whew. Alrighty. So I'm trying to think what else to talk about. Oh, let me tell you something that made me really mad this week. So I don't know if you heard, but OnlyFans is deciding that they are changing their policies to where you can no longer post sexually graphic content. You can post nudes within their guidelines, but you can't do anything sexual. And that makes me so mad. I mean, I used to be an OnlyFans creator, but I never like did anything too graphic. I would do like posing photos and it was more lewd, but it was never anything completely out there. And so it makes me really upset from someone who used to be on that platform and really supported SWers. I'm trying to like be careful with what I say because YouTube's so sensitive. But it makes me really heartbroken for those creators who do post more graphic content out there compared to what I did. And so I am really hurting from that. And it really makes me sick to my stomach that people are going to financially suffer from this change. It starts in October. I was talking to one of my friends and she was saying that a lot of the creators are starting to move to a platform called Frisk, which is also like another paid subscription service. And it's also and it's more geared for adult content to begin with. So I really hope those creators can find success either like maybe on Patreon. I actually don't really know what Patreon's community guidelines are like. And I think Frisk could be a much better option where SWers have a safe space to do that work. So that is something that really fucking bothers me and my heart is breaking. And I really wish there was something that I could do to help. And I don't think a petition is enough to solve that problem. But that's something that's been on my mind for half of this week. And I'm really frustrated, especially from someone who used to be on that platform. Oh my God, you're naming every one of my favorites. SpongeBob is still a favorite. I was a big Ren and Stimpy fan too. Okay, yes. I used to absolutely love Ren and Stimpy when I was growing up. But over time, as I got older, I actually started to get really creeped out by Ren and Stimpy. Like, I don't understand how that show didn't scare me as a child. But then once I got older, it started to scare me. And I'm like, why the fuck did I watch it? That is not a kid's show. Like, that's another thing that blows my mind is how Ren and Stimpy is literally a show for adults. And there's just so many like inappropriate things on there. Like someone please tell me how it could get away as being a kid's show because I think that show is like wildly inappropriate. And I do not understand how my parents let me get away with watching that show. Speaking of like inappropriate kids shows, so I finally watched the Icarly reboot, and I can now see why it's only on Paramount Plus and not Nickelodeon anymore. Because there's a lot of adult themes in the show, and they use some mild foul language, like they say the word ass, and I think they've thrown out the word bitch before, and they say the word piss, which are things that kid shows would never allow you to say. And they talk they talk about like a lot of mature topics on the show. So I now see why it's on Paramount Plus, but I really like the reboot. It's still the same silly slapstick stuff that you would see from iCarly growing up, but it's just more for adults. But I will say it does make me sad that Jeanette McCurdy is not on this show, since I know she hated being a childhood actress, and she's the one that played Sam, for anyone who's wondering. And Sam was Carly's best friend on the show. So the show's definitely not the same without her, but I know Jeanette McCurdy definitely did not enjoy being a childhood actress, and it was something that was very traumatizing for her, and she was forced to do acting as a kid. So I understand why she decided to not do the show. It makes sense for your own mental health. But I do think it's nice that the show is always mentioning Sam and still trying to include her character, even though the character's not completely physically present in the show. So I think that's really nice to still like dedicate Sam into the show, and that makes me happy because she definitely was one of the funniest characters on that show. All right, we're trying to finish this donut. I don't think my stomach can handle any more donut today since this is my third donut of the day. Keep in mind, I don't eat 3 donuts a day because that's so bad for you, but it hasn't been a good eating day today. Oh my God. Y'all. Okay. Sorry. I like had to just chomp down and enjoy myself. So I am curious to know how everyone's night or day has been, because I feel like your day was probably a lot better than mine. Hopefully you did not get sick when I was throwing up this morning. Like, yeah, I hope that's not something you are experiencing today. The guy that did the voices for Ren and Stimpy was also one of the writers and had some pretty serious substance abuse problems. Its popularity is what kept it on the air for as long as it did. That's interesting. Interesting. That's really sad that that person had a lot of substance abuse problems. I will say happy, joy definitely lived in my head rent-free for the longest time. And it lived in my brother and dad's head. I would used to watch that show with my brother and my dad, and they loved that show. I think they liked that show probably more than I did. And I think it's because my brother is 8 years older than me. So he was probably able to like understand the jokes. Because when you're a kid, a lot of that stuff goes right over your head, right? So Rocko's Modern Life, again, another show that I did not understand how my parents let me get away with watching that cartoon. Because I was watching that back as an adult, maybe like a year or two ago, because I got really fucking bored and wanted to watch some episodes online. And I'm thinking, how did my parents let me watch this? Like, what is this? I watched Double Dare, and you can't do that on television on Nickelodeon. Your brother might recognize this. I do remember Double Dare. So Double Dare, I think it came out a really long time ago. So I was born in 1991, and I think I was able to watch that show when I was like 5 or 6. And then they did a reboot a few years later where they called it Double Dare 2000. So, okay, well, it came out in 2000. So I was, what, I think 10 or 9 or 10 years old at the time. I don't remember You Can't Do That, but that name sounds really familiar. I wouldn't be surprised if my brother recognized those. My brother used to watch Salute Your Shorts, and that was a show that I vaguely remember because it definitely was out when I was a child, and I do remember seeing it come on when I was a child, but I never understood that show. But my brother really liked that show a lot. I really liked Legends of the Hidden Temple. Mr. Wizard. I don't know what Mr. Wizard is. Was that also Nickelodeon? Oh, and then another thing was, I don't know if anyone remembers the SpongeBob episode, because SpongeBob has so many adult jokes in there that also went over my head when I was a kid, but there were still things about that show that still made it friendly enough to be on TV for kids. Because we all know that they post that adult humor in there for the parents that are watching it with their kids so they're not bored. But I think one of my favorite things from SpongeBob, that was definitely a joke for adults, that I didn't pick up on until I was in college when that episode came on TV and I was watching it. So does anyone remember the Christmas episode when they were hoping that Santa Claus would come to town and Squidward was the only non-believer? And then Squidward eventually feels bad when Santa doesn't come. And basically he does a dance being like, ha ha ha, Santa's not here. It's Christmas. And then a donkey flashes on screen. Literally, that took me out when I was in college because I finally got it because I was an adult. So I understood the joke. And then they did it a second time within the episode. Classic. That Christmas episode is literally iconic. I got so much more wine left in here. This thing still feels really heavy and full. I never understood like why wine, you have to pour it in such small doses. And I guess it's because of the alcohol percentage, but I really wish that it was acceptable. I mean, technically it could be acceptable if you make it acceptable, but like if you were to pour wine right up to here, and that literally would not be an issue. Like, it wouldn't be too much because I know alcohol has like a pretty high alcoholic beverage context. So let's see. This is 13%. That's a lot. My God, I can't eat this anymore. I'm so close to being done with this donut. Okay, sorry. I know I've been like really awkward today. I feel like I'm still trying to get used to lives. This is my third one that I've done. And I think for me, what I need to start doing is kind of planning my topics out better. I've always been the kind of person that will just kind of start conversations on a whim. And then I like make my point and I'm like, okay, what's the next thing that I can talk about with everyone? So it definitely helps when you guys talk to me because I absolutely love that because that keeps the conversation going, right? It was one of the original Nick shows along with Hey Dude. Hey Dude also sounds familiar. Yeah, I remember Snick was like the Saturday night Nickelodeon where they would have the shows like Keenan and Kel, all that, and a couple of other shows that would come on. So I'm wondering if that also came on Snick or not, or if that was before Snick happened. I don't even know. But Hey Dude does sound familiar. I bet my brother would probably know that one because I know that was a really good show. You know what a really good show that I liked on Nickelodeon was? That I think people have completely forgotten about, but a show that I absolutely loved. There's two of them. Does anyone remember Caitlin's Way? The girl who had the horse and she was a redhead. And then there was the 100 Deeds of Eddie McDowd. Listen, that show, the way that they ended that show makes me so mad because he never got to complete his deeds. Like the show got canceled at some point, and I think he completed, was it like 70 something deeds? So the show never made it to him completing like the 100th deed to where he can go back from a dog to being a human again. That annoys me. I really hope they can reboot that show at some point so they can finish the fucking story. Because there is nothing more frustrating than canceling a show when it's halfway through its story plot and then you don't get to know what happens. Drives me bananas. Absolutely bananas. Another thing that Nickelodeon did is on the Amanda Show, there was like that fake parody of a soap opera called Moody's Point. And they didn't finish the episode like storyline. So when Moody was ready to meet her real parents because she found out that the dad that she was living with wasn't actually her real dad and that there was another Moody. And I guess it was like a social worker. She was like, come in, Moody. And then it said to be continued. And then we didn't find out what happened. Annoying. Abso-fucking-lutely annoying. I cannot. Sorry, my nose. Does anyone else's nose drip when they eat? Or is it just me? It always drips when I eat or when I put on my makeup. I don't understand it at all. It was on Nick at Night. I'm guessing, was that Hey Dude or was that... Oh, I think it was You Can't Do That. That was on Nick at Night. Okay. Listen, old school Nick at Night was great. I used to watch Happy Days with my mom, but I think the one show that I really used to watch with my mom on Nick at Night was good old I Love Lucy. That is a great show. I am sad that it got pulled off the air after a certain amount of time. I really wish Nick at Night could replay I Love Lucy, and now they play shows like Friends, and I think Everybody Loves Raymond, and like it's so crazy how they do replays of older sitcoms that were from like the late 90s to early 2000s or when they ended around then. That is just mind-blowing. It just makes you feel like you're getting older and older, and those shows qualify as like oldies that are suitable for Nick at Night now. I remember how excited I was. I was like in when I was like, I think it was maybe middle school or 4th or 5th grade when Full House started airing on Nick at Night. That made me so excited because I know my brother used to watch that growing up in the early 90s. And I knew that that show was funny because Mary Kate and Ashley were in the show. And I used to love Mary Kate and Ashley growing up. I loved all of those movies that they did. And so that was one reason as to why I was so excited about Full House, just because I knew that. And literally, I'm telling you, that show did not disappoint me, especially at such a young age. It just made me laugh so hard as a kid. All of the old B&W shows, old school Nick at Night, was epic. It's interesting how Happy Days was 50s nostalgia in the 70s. Isn't there a retro 90s show now? I mean, yeah, I feel like Full House is kind of retro and it's from the 90s and early or late 80s. Saved by the Bell was pretty retro in the 90s. What else is a retro 90s show I'm thinking of? Because, I mean, I was born in the early 90s, so it's hard for me to, like, remember what was out at the time. I think there was a George Lopez show. I think, no, that wasn't early 90s. I think that might have been 80s. But I remember Nick at Night did play that from time to time. But yeah, it's funny, like, as shows progress, then it becomes nostalgia to, like, a different time. One time at SFO Airport, I heard they announced John Stamos, please come to the ticket counter. Oh my God. Are you serious? I wonder if that was actually the real John Stamos. Imagine if you had a name, John Stamos, and people would turn their head immediately. I wondered, I'm curious, Daniel, did that turn many heads once that came on in the loudspeaker on the airport? I'm dying to know what happened there. Does that 70s shows count? Oh, that's a good one. I wonder, that show definitely came on in the 90s. Yo, but that 70s show was so good. I love that 70s show. That is such a classic. I think the last episode, like the series finale, was so funny when they finally got caught smoking weed in Eric's parents' basement, and then they get caught. And then as Red is like disciplining them, you see them all high and how they're singing Red. And it's just so funny. Some people chuckled. Really? That's it? Only people chuckled? I've been like, John Stamos, where? I would have been freaking out. Literally, Full House is so iconic to San Francisco at this point. I feel like natives and locals are probably so tired of all the Full House jokes. I'm sure they're so over it at this point. I think the funniest thing is when you go to Alamo Square Park and you see the painted ladies from there, people are like, oh, that's the Full House. And I'm like, no, that's actually not the Full House. Those are just the houses from the intro theme song that you see towards the end of it. But the real Full House is in Lower Pack Heights. And it is on, it's not Buchanan Street. What street is the Full House on? It's on, is it Baker Street? I think it's on Baker. Oh gosh. I should know this. Hang on. Now I got to Google map it really quick. I think it's Baker. I don't think it's Buchanan. Let me see. It's Broderick. Okay. I knew it began with a B. Oh my God. That's embarrassing. I should have known that. Yes. 1709 Broderick. Exactly. Bob Saget's stand-up comedy is hilarious. You should totally check it out. Totally unexpected. Oh yeah, I know. Bob Saget is a dirty, dirty man. His stand-up is it definitely threw me off. I was not expecting for Bob Saget to have that dark, perverted humor. Yes, his comedy is really funny. I didn't know they did a roast of him though. That is really funny. Is that recent or is that a little bit older? I remember I watched the Justin Bieber roast. That was really funny. And then there was another roast. It was the one that was hosted by Kevin Hart. Oh, who did that roast with where Kevin Hart hosted it? And I remember oh my God, I remember Ann Coulter was in it, and she got roasted so terribly in that. Does anyone remember which roast Ann Coulter was a part of? Because I think, actually, no, Kevin Hart was the one that hosted Justin Bieber. Just kidding. There was somebody else, though. Not recent, but one of the best. That was, okay, gotcha. I'll have to, I'm sure I can find that on YouTube. Oh, who was the roast that, and I think Peyton Manning was in that roast too. The one of Flavor Flav is the best by far. I heard the Flavor Flav one is really funny. Yeah, who was the roast that had the one with, that had Peyton Manning and Ann Coulter? Those were like the main two ones that I remember. And let me tell you something. Peyton Manning is really funny. Now that Peyton Manning's retired, I think Peyton Manning should go into stand-up comedy because he is really funny. I remember when he hosted Saturday Night Live, he did a spectacular job, and the skits that he were in were really, really funny. Like, really, really funny. I think my favorite Peyton Manning skit was when he was teaching kids how to play football, and he would basically just insult them and throw the football at their heads to where they would fall down, and he would say, like, "You suck." It was just so funny just seeing Peyton Manning yelling at little children. And also those Nationwide commercials are really funny. Chicken parm, you taste so good. It's just so random and it's so funny. Damn, I have to find it now. Ann Coulter and Peyton Manning. I guess we can look it up now. Let's see. Google is always a good resource. Ann Coulter, Comedy Central roast. Which one was she on? It was Rob Lowe. Okay. That's right. God, I think that was like 2016. That was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Ann got a lot of hate. Like, listen, we all know Ann Coulter is, she's kind of an awful person. I don't know what everyone's political views are here, but I personally don't politically agree with Ann Coulter. If anyone sides with her, that's totally fine. No big deal. But I don't like Ann Coulter because I don't like how she presents her political beliefs. But I will say there were a lot of misogynistic comments thrown at her way. And that is something I don't support just because we don't agree with her as a person. And she may say some really shitty things at the end of the day. Doesn't mean she deserves to have misogynistic hate. And I know that was something that she definitely experienced during that roast. So it's like I support anything that she's being roasted for. Maybe it's like her personality or her political beliefs. But there were some things that she experienced as a woman. And I think that's actually not okay. I don't wish misogyny on any woman, no matter how shitty of a personality they have. That's my personal opinion. She's a real CU next Tuesday. That's funny. Yeah, she's not a very nice person. I agree. I think she is really, really arrogant. I don't think she's well educated. There's a few political commentators I think are just portraying a character. Ann Coulter is one of them. I agree. I think Tommy Lahren is another one of those political commentators as well. I think she also plays this character where she sounds like she's this bad bitch. She's very unapologetic, which I will say, no one hate me here. I do not agree with anything that comes out of that woman's mouth. And I think she has a lot of growth that she needs to do. But I will say, as someone who's really unapologetic, has a big personality, and isn't afraid to speak her mind, that is something that I can appreciate about Tommy. But again, her political beliefs and the way that she presents herself, trash. But I do think, yes, she is portraying a character in some way because her loudmouth opinions get views on Fox News. And those videos tend to do well because people like characters. They like things that are over the top and that are exaggerated. And I think Tommy is one of those people. So Daniel, I definitely agree with you. Yeah, and Jacob also agrees with you. So yeah, we're all aligned here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to finish this. Once the wine is finished is probably when I will end this stream. Because I know I definitely need to make food, like real food. You know what? We're just going to do this. This is a lot of wine, y'all. See, this is what I mean. Like, when you order wine, you are not going to get wine that's poured to all the way up here if you were to get this at a restaurant. No freaking way. Why did that smell like trash for a second? I don't know. Maybe I'm already starting to get drunk. You know what would be really fun if I did a video when I was drunk? That would be kind of funny. I do have some water here. I think I would probably wait to make that video if I was a full-time content creator. That way I can get away with more shit. I mean, I'm of age, but still. Wow, that's a hell of a glass of wine. I know. I just wanted to finish the can because I mentioned in the beginning of the video, or not the video, but of the stream, and there wasn't really many people on. I was saying I have a hard time committing to a bottle of wine. So if you're somebody who opens a bottle of wine and then doesn't drink it in a few days, the wine typically goes bad. So that's why I really recommend getting like a can of wine because it's less wine and it's easier to commit to. Is this a pregame stream? It's the sediment at the bottom of the bottle, very pungent. Oh, yeah, you know what? Okay, I can kind of, I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, you can see it right there. Interesting. Y'all know more about alcohol than I do. Yeah, I'm actually trying to go to wine country when I go to the Bay Area in a few days. My friend Chelsea, I don't think she's on the stream with us today, but she was on the last one. She popped in for a little bit. So her and I did a collaboration on my channel 2 years ago. We did a mukbang together. And she has a YouTube channel. She's about over 14,000 subscribers. And she has a big following on Instagram. So I know she got in touch with somebody at the Napa Valley Wine Train. Like they wanted to sponsor her. And I know we're going to try to go do the Napa Valley Wine Train. I need to follow up with her on that because that's something I really want to do. And it's so fucking expensive. Like I think it's about $600 to do, which is actually something that I mentioned in my last video or my last live stream, which is what she mentioned. She's like, oh my God, you need to do that with me. And then she eventually reached out being like, yo, guess what? So hopefully I can do that with her. I need to follow up with her on that. But yeah, so wine country is something that's in the works for me. I miss wine country. I haven't been in a really long time, actually. So I'm overdue for that. Unfortunately, I know a lot about alcohol. Unfortunately, I don't say unfortunately. Don't say it like that. Trying to drink water in between. So this tumbler is like losing its spark. It used to have my name on it. As you can see, it's like peeled off. My friend was a bridesmaid a couple of years ago. And so this was like, not a bridesmaid, I'm sorry. I was a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding and she gave her bridesmaids like a bunch of gifts. And so she had personalized tumblers for everyone and she knew how to like print vinyl onto items. And yeah, eventually it's sort of like living its life. And now the sticker is like peeling off, which makes me really sad. So now it just says like Iln. My name is now Iln. Okay, that's the wine talking, because that was stupid. No, seriously. If I did a video drunk, what would you want me to do? I'm very curious. Oh, you know one thing that I would like to do on my channel? I have this video planned for December, so it's not going to be for a while. But I'm going to do a truth or drink. I know that's really popular on YouTube. A lot of my like favorite lifestyle YouTubers do they do these truth or drink videos where they'll take shots and they answer, or when they refuse to answer a question that makes them uncomfortable or they don't want to answer the question. I think that would be really fun. And I want to do that for like my dating life. And maybe have my audience be the one to ask me questions. It might be through Instagram or through the community tab. I might do both. That way I get the most questions as possible through both ways. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should. It's just my first and last name, or it's Ilana.Pinsky. So go follow me on Instagram. Do a show about nothing, like Seinfeld. Shots of tequila. Yes, I would like to do shots of tequila. It wouldn't be a truth or drink video if you didn't have Don Julio's 1942, which is very expensive, by the way. Okay, so I saw it at Safeway, and that shit's like, I think I remember it being like $160. It is fucking ridiculous. Like, why does tequila need to be that expensive? I mean, it comes in like a really cool bottle. I don't know why it is so expensive, but I heard it's really smooth. And Daniel, I don't know how I would do a show about nothing like Seinfeld. I feel like that's what my live streams are. It's just like a show about nothing. We just talk. It's mostly like me just talking to myself, and I just let the chat interact when they want. It's worth it. Have you had it before, Jacob? I heard it is really good tequila. It's just, it's so expensive. But you see all the lifestyle YouTubers getting 1942 for that video. So I feel like if I'm going to make a YouTube video, I should probably get it. And you know what? I can do it. I can write it off since I'm only getting it for business purposes. Hey, Ilana, do a show about giving guys some do's and don'ts dating advice. Unless only guys can do that for each other. LOL. So, I mean, this is what I can do. I have been meaning to make a video like this for a really long time, because here's the thing. There's no like wrong or right way to give dating advice. And so when people watch my dating videos, one thing that I want to make it clear is that I try to disclaim that the dating advice that I give on my channel is things based on my own personal experiences and what's worked for me and what's not worked for me. And I share that with my audience. I will say, though, I do think there's some really bad dating advice out there in terms of like, what's bad dating advice? The alcohol is like preventing me from using my brain at the moment. But something like, what is bad dating advice? Holy crap, I cannot talk or think. Something like saying hi on a dating app to initiate a conversation. Like, you don't want to just say hi. I think that's personally bad dating advice. Like, small things like that. If I was more sober, I could come up with more things. But, I mean, I guess what I could do is give advice based off what I think is bad dating advice and what I think is good dating advice. I know a long time ago, or not a long time ago, in the beginning of 2020, I reacted to some TikToks that gave dating advice. And I reacted to whether or not I thought that was good or bad. I could maybe do that again, because people really like videos where you're reacting to TikToks. And there is a lot of really bad advice on there. Or it's more like advice that I don't agree with. I think for anyone who says it's bad advice, I think it's so subjective because everyone is going to date differently. But I guess if I'm going to say like the do's and don'ts of dating advice, just keep in mind that there is going to be a bias that comes with that. So if that's something you're okay with me giving my biased opinions on what I think are like do's and don'ts in terms of dating advice, If that's something you're fine with, cool. But just want to give you a heads up on that. Yes, not enough O's in smooth for that stuff. I forget what we're talking about here, Jacob. Sorry. Oh my God, it's starting to like really kick in. Like there's a lot of kick to this Pinot Noir. But that's kind of expected. I've always felt like Pinot Noir has always had like a sharper taste to it compared to like Cab. In my opinion, Cab is another red wine that I really like. I'm a big red wine person. I don't really like white wine as much, but I love rosé. Rosé all day. Am I basic yet? Yes, I am. I love a good rosé. I was almost thinking about getting rosé, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get Pinot. Oh, the Don Julio. Got you. Yeah. I definitely need to get it. I want to wait till I have a job again to buy Don Julio. Or if I do a truth or drink with a friend and we can split it, that would also be a really good deal. I think when people do truth or drink videos with Don Julio, they have to be splitting that because I know they share it in the video a lot of times. So that would make sense if they're splitting it to lower the cost. Oh my gosh. There's still so much wine left, y'all. I feel like I didn't make any kind of progress whatsoever. But I love the wine glass. So it says Rose City. And it says Portland on it. I got this from a cute little store in the Northwest District of Portland. And they had like a bunch of like Portland themed items in there. And so I saw this wine glass and I was like, I have to buy it. Elsa? Oh, hi, girly. I was talking to my cat. She was sitting next to me. So I'm currently like in my kitchen / alcove area. So this is kind of what I've done so far with my living room area. This is like my moon mirror, and the circle one that I had in the middle, it fell down. So I need to put it up. So that's why it looks kind of funny. And then I put some like fake wallpaper up. I promise I will be filming that video once I get a couch. I still do not have a couch because couches are expensive. And yeah, it makes me sad. Like I really want to just sit on a sofa. Like I don't always want to be sitting on my bed. But I can't wait to decorate this space. Oh, hi. Look, you see? Look who's come to join me. Do you want to come say hi to my stream? Come here. Oh, she's like, no. Hi, girly. Can you meow into the mic again? No, you want to be quiet? This is my cat, y'all. If you haven't met her. Your cat's name is Harry. No, her name's Elsa. I have a girl cat. This is my girly girl. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. All right. I'm going to put her on my little bar stool. So there's this bar stool that she really likes to sleep on. So I have 2 bar stools. And she always sleeps on the right one. I don't know why it's that one that she's drawn to the most. Maybe it's because it has her scent on it. But yeah, so she likes to sleep there. And let me tell you, this island, my apartment didn't come with an island, so I got one from IKEA, and let me tell you, it is game-changing. I have a place to, like, eat, and I still have room in the kitchen to maneuver around. It does make the space a little bit tighter than what I normally would have wanted, but it's really nice to put bar stools by it and use it as a table and also use it as more, like, counter space to cook and prepare food when I do cook, because let me tell you, I'm not much of a cooker. I'm really bad at cooking. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is really hitting me, y'all. I guess I could eat a banana while I'm doing this. I'm kind of afraid because I don't know how bananas and wine would be. Has anyone had bananas with their wine before? Because I certainly have not. Do you see my face right now? That is not a good combination. Okay. I don't recommend bananas and wine together. That is disgusting. Well, I love bananas, but I don't think it's a good combination with wine whatsoever. I want to finish my wine. Easy now. I know. I need to like take it easy. I just want to finish my wine. I hate like wasting alcohol, especially wine, because wine is delicious. But yeah, this is why I get wine in cans. So it kind of forces me to drink it and not have it go to waste. Because like I said, there are so many times where I open up a bottle of wine and then I'm not able to like finish it because I'm not always in the mood to drink wine. What was I going to say? Oh my God, this is bad. Yeah, I'm not always in the mood to drink wine. Like, I feel like if I'm going to drink wine, I have to be in the mood for it. And some days I'm not going to want wine. And then it could be a couple of days where I won't want wine. And then it's like been a week since I've opened up the bottle of wine. And then the wine's pretty much gone bad at that point. And then I have to pour the wine down the drain. And I'm like, oh my God, I wasted all of this alcohol. It is very sad. I'm still going to eat this banana. Oh my God. I've been streaming for an hour and 6 minutes already. I feel like I've only been on my stream for like maybe 30 minutes. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Okay. I'm not sure if I can actually finish this wine. It is, if I drink any more, I might upset my stomach again, which is something I don't want to do. Just remember with wine, try not to drink it alone or all at once. Yes, that is true. So, funny story. So, when I was in grad school, it was my first Valentine's Day in grad school. And so basically, I made it a day drinking event where I drank a bottle of wine throughout the day. And I did take breaks and then I ate like cupcakes with it on the side. And by the end of the night, I was feeling pretty drunk, pretty awful, and I threw up. So yes, I definitely realized that I should not be drinking a whole bottle of wine in one day. That is definitely unhealthy. And I agree that wine should be something that you share with somebody. I think I should maybe even take it one step down, maybe not even get like a can of wine, but maybe get those airplane bottles. I think that might be even a safer bet. And airplane bottles are nice because they usually equate to like one glass of wine. When I compete, I typically will have a glass of wine the night before my show because it will dry my body out. And I really like that it has that effect on my body. There's something really interesting about drinking wine when you are competing or like the night before you compete because of the vascularity that it brings, which can be, I'm like trying not to burp. I apologize. Like the vascularity that it brings, and it makes you look a lot leaner on stage, which is kind of cool. And it like your body comes out a lot harder and more muscular, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's always like one of my favorite things because I can't usually drink alcohol at a certain point in my prep and I have to cut alcohol all out. But I'm not competing this year. So I have a lot more flexibility in what I have in my diet, like how I ate 3 donuts today. That would never be allowed if I was on prep or even in the beginning of my reverse diet. Let's see, it's 7:09. What do I want to make for dinner? I'm trying not to spend money. I might make myself a breakfast burrito or pancakes. I will say I absolutely love breakfast food. I'm obsessed with breakfast food. And it's a problem. I might make some more eggs since technically my body has been tricked into thinking that it hasn't eaten eggs today because of the event that happened this morning. So I might make some more eggs because I need some more protein in my body. And I really have not put any protein in my body. I pretty much had like fat and carbs today, which is fine to have fat and carbs, but I need to put more protein in my body. Enchiladas. Yum. I do have some tortillas that I could use to make enchiladas. And I have some cheese and some salsa that I can use. And I have some vegan chorizo. Maybe I'll make enchiladas. Not a bad idea, Jacob. Alrighty. Who thinks I should? Okay, there are 4 people in this live. Who thinks I should stop drinking wine and who thinks I should finish this glass? I want all 4 people to let me know. Try to eat some carbs to soak up that booze. Yes, sir. I definitely will do that. Don't force it, pace yourself. Yes, I know. But I did say I wasn't ending the stream until I finished this wine. So we could be here all night long. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to keep you up all night long, especially if there's people like in Indiana. Stop, you had enough. Okay. I will maybe dump the rest of it out. I mean, there's not that much left. And I am eating carbs. Like I am eating my banana. Okay, now the banana's starting to taste a little bit better. Okay. I think you guys are right. I should probably stop drinking. But this was fun. I enjoyed sipping some wine with y'all. And I mean, if you want to finish. I mean, I've enjoyed drinking with y'all and hanging out with you on a Saturday night. I appreciate you sacrificing your Saturday night to hang out with me on a live stream on YouTube. Such a wild, crazy night to have. But this has been fun. I really do enjoy these lives. And I promise I will try to do more fun things. I am still pretty new to lives and I need to kind of plan these out better and have a set agenda. Maybe better not to waste any. It is Pinot after all. Well, you know what I can do, Jacob? I don't have that much left. Maybe if I take a break, but still leave it in the glass, eat some dinner and then maybe finish the rest of it. I think that could be a good strategy. So it doesn't go to waste because the can is now empty. So this was $7, which is not bad for a can of wine. I feel like that's how much I probably, if I were to get a glass of wine in San Francisco, it would probably be I don't know, $9 to $12, which is a lot of money just for a glass. Sometimes it can even be more. So the fact that I'm getting a can for $7 is kind of a steal in my opinion. And it's not bad wine. I think it tastes really good, actually. And it's cool that this was made in Oregon. Oh, it's from I can never pronounce the name of this city. It's called Tualatin or Tualatin. It's right outside of Portland. It's a suburb out of Portland. I can never remember how it's pronounced. But yeah, it's pretty close. I think it'd be kind of cool to go to that winery. I think it's 30 minutes away from me. Have it with the enchiladas. That's probably a good idea. I just need to make the enchiladas. Yay, tipsy cooking. I can't wait. This is going to be dangerous, y'all. I'm a horrible cook. So the fact that I'm going to do this when I'm kind of tipsy, this is a recipe for disaster. But it'll be fun. Take it one step at a time. I might actually relax and drink some more water before I try to attempt cooking with alcohol in my system. Because I don't want to burn my enchiladas. We'll see. Alrighty. Well, I think I am going to end my stream here. This has been really fun. Once again, I want to thank you again for being here on the stream tonight with me. Thank you for spending your time with me. And y'all get excited for all the San Francisco content that I have coming. I'm super excited. I know a lot of my Bay Area peeps are probably like peeing their pants with excitement right now because they miss this content. I miss that content. So get ready for the San Francisco videos within the next 2 weeks or so. Alrighty, y'all. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you in my next stream next month. Bye, guys. Good night.